Hey Theta Bros, welcome to the channel. AT Crypto here, and today we're going to be talking about a Zabbix network monitoring appliance. And there's some pretty interesting features in this product, which is free to download, as to why you want to deploy it in your network and monitor your own wallet and also your network so that you can maximize your gains and fix network problems as they pop up. So this is just going to be an overview, and it's just going to be a taster. So let's go ahead and get into our Zabbix appliance, and then we'll go ahead and look at all of the little interesting features I created here. So I have some pre-built dashboard that I made, and in this dashboard I've got some data points that are interesting, I think, to the community. Golden ratio, price, video streams, what's your wallet, how many Guardian nodes are there, stakes in percentage, and income in dollars. And that's broken down into hours, days, weeks, and months. So that's going to help you with taxes, as everybody's all worried about that. So some of the things I made here, as you can see, so some of the data points that I've got listed here for just a sample is the theory of Guardian edge node income in dollars. It's a total guess, but it's experimental that I made so that you can kind of have an idea. You can see how many stakes you have in the system as percentage, how many edge nodes or Guardian nodes are on the network, the dollar income broken down as I was talking about, and we can see that from this test account, which is some whale, he's making a pretty nice amount of dollars, so that'd be pretty useful tax information. We can see when the T-Fuel leaves the wallet. So the next set of data points we're going to look at here is the dollar income. And in the hourly chart, you can see I've got a redundant data set. So I've got the red lines, which are absolutes, and I've got the yellow line, which is an average. And that's kind of nice because then you can see what your average income is without trying to figure it out yourself. It does all of this automatically, which is pretty handy. So then we can see we've got the stakes as a percentage, and this is composed of obviously the circulating supply and the stake supply. So that's nice to see how much is staked in the T-Fuel network, and that's helpful for our guesstimation in the amount of T-Fuel plus Guardian node income that we're deriving from those two different stakes. Here we've got the golden ratio, which people talk a lot about, and here we've got this being derived from the two prices, and we can see what it's doing, which could be useful for trading. Let's say you want to use Theta swap and you want to swap between Theta and Theta Fuel. So this could be pretty interesting, as you could automate a few aspects of those data points and how you use them. And if you're clever, you can fully automate that, which would be slightly dangerous if you don't have super high security. Alright, so now we're going to look at the config of Zabbix. So we're using the most current version, and there's some settings in here where you can configure the system and add a lot of customization, but what we're going to be doing here is going into the configuration and then hosts. And once we get into hosts, we can see I've got 3 pre-builds. There's a default that comes with the OS, there's the internet router, and then there's a thetatoken.org, which has got some items. So what we can do is we can explore that and investigate those data points. So underneath here, we can see that it's got the hosts and all that configured, and there's some items that have been pre-built by myself, and these are composed of 2 different elements. So we have calculated values and we have API values that are collected from the Theta API. And that's important to know, because when you go to check your wallet status, you may find that the wallet is not online, and that's because this API address is not reachable. And because it's not reachable, your services are basically down. It's going into those APIs and pulling very specific information out of those APIs and then storing those back into the host. And you can see that there's multiple items that are inside of each one, and we're specifically parsing individual items to be stored in individual data points so that we can use those for these charts and graphs that I was talking about. Some of them are a little more complicated than others. This one involves a JavaScript to figure out how many video streams there are on the network. And I'll be providing all of these templates to you, so you can just simply take all of this information that I created so you don't have to retype it all. I'll go ahead and export all of these data points, and then all you have to do is simply take this exported template file and edit it with your specific information for your wallet, and then you can import it. Or you can go in after it's been imported and you can go into your wallet and then you can go in and edit your address. Either way works fine. Depends on what you're comfortable with. So once you've got that imported, it'll start automatically collecting data for you, and you can go in and then start creating a dashboard. So you just create a new dashboard, give it a name, then start populating it with the data points from that particular Theta token org address. You can see the data start to flow in under latest data, and here we can start to get information from, in this case, our internet router, and it's going to be our Theta token org information. And one thing that's really important is network monitoring, because if you're running an edge client, you need to know that your network is working properly. So if you're trying to make money on running edge client services, then you've got to make sure that your response time, in this case this is a local network, is below 0.2 milliseconds. So that's pretty good for a local network. But if you're running VPNs, you're going to be slowing yourself down. And running a VPN, while may add some pseudo security, it's going to also give you much lower profits. So you really need to have the fastest connection possible. And if you really need to use a VPN, you probably should just VPN across town, not across the country, because that's going to cut into your profits pretty hard. There's the other data points here, all the usual stuff that we talked about earlier in the video. And the last page I wanted to talk about was my longer duration, richer data point production engine. So this has been running for a bit longer, and here there's more data that we can look at. So we can see that the golden ratio has been dropping for a period of time, and this could be useful information if you're trying to figure out, do I swap? Which way do I swap? Maybe you've got stablecoin or fiat and you want to decide, well, which one should I buy? Is the golden ratio at a point that looks interesting to me? Is it look stable, or did it make some sharp drop and I could just jump in, buy some of whatever, and then swap it in a period in the future when that golden ratio changes? The last thing here is my wallet, and here we can see my daily incomes. So all the little blue dots along the bottom is what my daily income has been. The red dots are my weekly income, and the yellow dot is my monthly income. And every week that starts new, or every day that starts new, and every month that starts new, it's going to start at the bottom and rise its way up until it gets a new series. So once that last red dot rises up, and I have 4 dots in a row, I will get a new yellow dot for my monthly income. And then with this information, I can then take it and then start calculating taxes, which is going to be super useful and way less stressful. And if that's not good enough for the tax man, then they'll have to provide something that's better, because this is the best thing I've been able to figure out at this point. I hope you found it useful. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everybody. Bye.